we're joined now by the head women's basketball coach for Nebraska, Amy Williams. Coach, how are you this morning?
Hey, I'm pretty fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Coach, how are we doing? You're on a little bit of a roll, man. You seem like you're in a good spot.
Well, yeah, we've been playing pretty well, so we'll see if we can keep things rolling. It's every night it's a new test in this league, man. It's just it's a grind.
Yeah, we got you one day before we get Coatney tomorrow. So full disclosure, I'm glad you get to get all the good stuff out first, because that way he can't. Coat won't be able to claim it.
He's gonna steal my thunder. This is so good. Thank you for the timing, then, you guys.
Oh, we appreciate you. We had tried, and your folks, they were like, oh, last week was gonna be tough, and like, okay, we'll take whatever we can get because we know she's pretty busy. And lo and behold, I didn't know you were gonna have the gutty win on the road in a place that's tough to play in Iowa, and then you come home and you handle business against Wisconsin. Like, you're right. It's a tough competitive league. How important, I got to go back to 2 games. How important was getting a tricky one at home or on their home court with such a tough place to play, even though their league record isn't great?
Yeah, it's been really that's important. I mean, it's critical. We'd had a couple of really tough road losses. We had, when we looked at our conference schedule and we knew that we were going to have that road game at Georgia Tech, which was a home and home return right before the Christmas break. Yeah. And then we were going to come back from Christmas and go out and play number 1 and number 4 in the country on their home courts. We really needed to prove to ourselves that we could win on the road. And so, but an hour before we leave to go to Rutgers, we just have, kind of devastating news for our team with Allison Widener going down again. And it was just gut punch. And I've been a part of a lot of programs and teams and in the past where, something like that would really derail you for a while. And this team was just bound and determined to show a little more honor to Allison with the way we played than that, and they just really wanted to kind of channel some things to win for her. And so to go on the road and get that tough win at Rutgers and kind of prove to ourselves that we can do it, I think that really catapulted and helped us go win on the road over in Iowa City as well.
Coach, this is interesting, and you get it because you're so close to your basketball team, and between Widener and Potts, I mean, it's devastating, and you're fixing things on the fly while you're developing your depth. You mentioned the weekend in California where you're paying like 3/5 of the all Big Ten team in back-to-back games. That's a pretty good bunch. For you, as you look at your team, which for you have been kind of tougher or give you a better indication of who your team is? The bounce back physically in the actual games, seeing back-to-backers on the road like you did, or the internal resolve of overcoming, teammates' injuries to help get you to where you are?
That's such a great question. And, I feel like it's that internal resolve. I really feel like it's just that motivation, the love that this group has for each other, and then just that resolve, just internally to say, I am going to, go out there and channel my inner Natalie Potts, channel my inner Allison Widener. I've got to find a way to bring the toughness that they've brought to our team. And I really feel like it's kind of just that internal kind of resolve on this group to be able to kind of just fight for each other, and something that's pretty unique and special. And I wish I could just, bottle it up because, every team doesn't have that. But I think that has led to some of the actual, just what looks like a little tougher performances out on the court, and everybody finding ways to come in and contribute. If it's a rebound here, or if it's a diving on a loose ball here, I mean, just making a big bucket here. I mean, it just seems like everybody's finding a way to say, I've got to bring something to the table.
Coach, part of overcoming all of those issues has been the emergence of Britt Prince, especially over the last few weeks in Big Ten play. She's really starting to emerge. What have you seen just in terms of her development that's allowed her to seemingly take a little mini leap over really since the new year?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that she's starting to get a lot more comfortable with what we're trying to run offensively, what our schemes are, what our, when to call what plays. Like, we kind of give our point guards and, the guards in our program the freedom to be able to make reads and calls on the fly. And so that takes a little bit of time to get used to about when is a good time. And I think for a little bit of time, she was maybe not thinking about how can I score the basketball, but how can I run the offense? And but I think the more and more comfortable she's gotten with just, okay, this is how this is going to flow. This is how we're going to play. This is how I can push pace. And now I know how I can play my game and just go make plays out of the offense. I think she's starting to really be aggressive minded that way and thinking more about, where can I be aggressive and do the things that I can do within the flow of the offensive scheme. But the other thing that's just been such a pleasant surprise is just everything we've challenged her with. Coach Canna Mays is kind of, one of her position coaches, and, she's asking, Britt, like, I need you to rebound, because when you rebound down the floor, then we can get going and play with a little better pace on the offensive side of the ball. And next thing you know, she's getting 7, 8 offensive rebounds or defensive rebounds, helping lead our team in rebounding. I think our last ball game, she tied for
she had 6 on the defensive end alone.
Yeah, right. And when she does that, it's just such a double whammy of positive for our team, because it's we're securing a rebound which finishes the defensive possession, but she is so good about being able to push pace when she comes away with defensive rebounds, and that's a big impact on how she's changed here over the last few weeks as well.
Something I definitely know for sure over the last 33 years of knowing you is you're very competitive, and I watch your team play, and you're developing a superstar, a highly touted superstar. She's coming along. You've overcome a couple of key injuries while you're continuing to grow your depth, which is flat out ridiculous. On any given night, somebody different can get you. That has to be about practice, right? Like there has to be something that's going on when you guys are rolling the balls out with drill work and your scout, where you're saying, okay, if it's truly next man up, we are practicing that way too. Because I don't think people realize how hard it is to develop high end, fill in the middle, and then get role players to continue to get better too. Like, man, that is tough.
Yeah, it is tough. And I've had, people say that one of the things that they think is unique about our program is the way we just instill confidence in everybody. And we really try to do that. We do not, I don't spend a bunch of time really talking about like, that's a bad shot for you, or that's not, like whatever. It's okay. If that's the type of shot you're going to take within our system, then let's get in and work on it. And I just have to credit, like, my coaching staff has just done an amazing job, but the young women that are in this program are just hard workers, and they're as competitive as I am, Damon. I know you know that competitiveness. You've known it for a while, but the young women we brought in here have that same competitive spirit, and they want to be the best version of themselves. So what that has equated to is lots of players, and it might be Kendall Moriarty, who maybe played 4 minutes in this ball game, but yet the next day she's coming in and asking Coach Mays, can we get in the gym? Can we work on my ball handling? Can we work on my shot? Can we get some extra shots up? Do you have time to watch film with me? And then next thing you know, she comes out against Wisconsin and leads us in scoring and has 17, and just is a huge spark for us. It might be against Rutgers, we needed her to come in and use her length and athleticism to defend against Kiyomi McMiller, who was going off on us a little bit, and be the chaser in our defense, and whatever we need. And they have a willingness to say whatever the team needs for me to do, and I'm going to keep working outside to make sure that when the opportunity does come, I'm ready.
Coach, you mentioned that competitiveness and those girls that they fight and they grind and they work hard. Obviously, that doesn't happen by accident. How do you find those players to recruit? Because I think that's the hardest thing to evaluate when you're looking and recruiting for players. Like, what are you looking for that allows you to find those players?
Well, I mean, that's one thing that every one of my assistants would tell you is, do not send me to go watch a kid that doesn't play hard, because my husband and I have talked about this since the day I met him, but he's like, how many players have you ever watched that didn't play hard and then they all of a sudden come play for you and now they do? And it just doesn't really happen that way. And, I think that's something that's kind of just in you and instilled in you, and it's something where you kind of got that type of work ethic, and it's really, really hard to put that into somebody. So that's something that my staff knows. Like, do not send me, no matter how talented they are, to go watch a kid that can't keep it hooked up or just doesn't want to compete and play hard and have a passion for the game. I think that's half the battle. And then we can work on helping improve some skill and things like that. But that's just one of the characteristics that we really, really is kind of a non-negotiable for us in the recruiting process.
Coach, I'll get you out of here on this real quick. You got to kind of do you like the one and dones kind of moving on with playing everybody in the conference?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Do you like the schedule set up with the playing everybody once in the conference?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's going to be interesting once we get all the way through it, but I think it is kind of unique. I mean, with just, in the beginning, kind of knowing that it'll always be Iowa twice for us, which, I think is, we're quite familiar with their program and they're quite familiar with ours. And, so that's, but I think, it does present kind of a unique challenge each and every game, but I think it does kind of even some things out with just I know there's a lot of coaches right now saying, oh, but we had to play these guys at home or these guys on the road. But to me, that's the only discrepancy, as opposed to, we played 4 of the top 5 teams in the league twice versus, 4 of the bottom teams in the league twice. And so I think it's really been able to kind of level some things out. And, every game I feel like, oh man, it's a whole new scout and I got to watch 15 new game films and, like whatever, but it's certainly been fun.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Good luck this Sunday as you try and pack the PBA, and we will talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, that sounds good. Have a good day, guys. Thanks.